bá mi ẹ̀gbọ́n àti àbúrò ìpè akúbojú ọjọ́ ṣeré èmi ọmọ yín olólùfẹ́ yín ayé ọpẹ́ yọ ṣe yọ lọ́dọ̀ tí yín náà ní agbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ayé ọpẹ́ máa yọ fún wa lórí ọmọ lórí ìdáwọ́lé wa òun láyé ọpẹ́ òun ló máa fi máa yọ. Quick one, èwo ni mo ní kájọ ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bá ṣe máa ń ṣe. Yorùbá ni mí, Yorùbá ni ìran mi, ọmọ kóòtù ojíire gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ní papọ̀. Tá a bá ti lè rí yípadà according to bílẹ̀ ní ìṣe mọ́. Yorùbá ìfẹ́ sọ wípé wọ́n bá béèrè pé ọmọ olóbo ni tó bá ti wá fẹ́ dárúkọ tó bá dárúkọ Nàìjíríà tó bá tún ní láti bò tó bá dárúkọ Odùduwà Yorùbá yẹn ló dàbí wípé ó ìjẹ́ náà ibẹ̀ yẹn kọ́ là ń lọ. Ìgbòho òun nìkan kọ́ ló sọ. Ìgbòho ń ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn tó mọ̀ àwọn tó dẹ̀ mọ̀ lọ́ọ̀ mọ̀. Brother wa bíi méjì tá fẹ́ gbé wá tá fẹ́ wò yìí tá fẹ́ gbọ́ nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ yìí tá fẹ́ rí àwọn action bó ṣe mú wọn lára àtẹni tó wà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá àti ẹni tó jẹ́ ọmọ South Africa ká wá gbé yẹ̀wò pẹ̀lú nǹkan tí Ìgbòho gangan tó béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn ìjọba. Abẹ́gbọ́ kí ni Ìgbòho béèrè? Ẹ ń pa àwọn ìyá wa lóko, ẹ ń pa àwọn bàbá, ẹ ń pa ọmọ kékeré, ẹ ń pa àgbàlagbà torí nǹkan tó bá ti mu tó ti jẹ́ wípé àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí ń pa èèyàn nínú igbó, ń pa èèyàn mọ́lé ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ lè rí nǹkan kan ṣe sí ìjọba náà ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn. Ìjọba òun ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn. Okay, tẹ bá wá mọ̀ wípé ẹ lè rí nǹkan kan ṣe sí kò síbi tẹ́ ti lè gbà wá sílẹ̀ kò sí ìrànlọ́wọ́ tẹ́ lè ṣe fún wa ẹ jẹ́ a pín ṣe bó kún làlà tẹ́lẹ̀. Ìyá mi ṣe gbọ́ mi tàbí ẹ̀ dáhùn tàbí ṣé à ń communicate. Nǹkan kan ṣáà ló máa ń fa nǹkan kan. Nǹkan kan òun ló máa ń fa nǹkan kan. Bó pẹ̀lú àwọn nǹkan tí brother wa yìí náà táwọn náà ń sọ pẹ̀lú bí ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ibi tó dé lọ́jọ́ títí òní gbogbo wa la mọ ọwọ́ ọ̀tún yàtọ̀ sọ́wọ́ òsì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gbogbo wa la mọ ibi tó ń fi oúnjẹ sí. Mo mọ̀ wípé etí wo ni ká gbọ́ ni wípé mi ò fẹ́ sí lára wípé ẹ pín ìlú sí méjì. Bọ́ ibi tí wọ́n jókòó sí yìí tó ti ń sọ wípé nǹkan tó ń ṣe yìí ò dá tí gbogbo wa ń fojú rí ṣó lè work. Ṣé ó lè work? Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé wá kí n sáré gbá àwọn fídíòs yẹn wá ká wá wò mí ní jẹ́ kó pọ̀ ṣó lè work tàbí.
I believe the Nigerians are very, very industrious. They are very resourceful people. There is nothing they cannot be able to do, and they will do it well. So I am confident they can get out of this inconsistency in policies and the rest of it.
What do you make of this administration's handling of the economy so far?
The fact that it hasn't collapsed, it says a lot. But I think we can address it.
How?
Production. Once people can produce a lot of things that they can easily sell, either export or within the country, I think it will stabilize.
But how can that production come about? I mean, you have an unemployment rate of about 33%. You have a huge youth population. Almost 70% of the Nigerian population is made up of the youth. And yet Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world.
There is too much control in the way the economy is being run. We should open it further. Okay. If we do that and tap the God-given talent of the Nigerian, I think we will go far.
So much has been said about the need to give a sense of belonging to, every part of the country, including the Southeast. Many are saying, because the perception is that the Southeast has not had a fair share of, being at the helm of affairs. What are your thoughts on the issue of power shifting to the Southeast, or the need for it to shift to the Southeast?
Well, we have to make a choice. Either we want to practice democracy the way it should be practiced, or the way it is being practiced, or we define democracy on our own whims and caprices. If we are going to do it the way it is done all over the world, you allow the process to continue, but it is through the process that you will be able to come up with a candidate that will lead the country. His qualifications, his beliefs should be known to Nigerians before somebody ever throws his hat into the ring. Time will come when somebody will imagine this country. He is from Ukbila or from Mina. The thing is, he is known, everybody knows him, everybody tends to accept what he believes, and then if he throws his hat in, say, yes, I had that name up before. Why not? I have started visualizing a good Nigerian leader.
Who is that?
A person who travels in this country and has a friend virtually everywhere he travels. He knows at least one person that he can communicate with. A person who is very vast in economic because of the development. And then a good politician who should be able to talk to the Nigerians and so on. I have seen one or two or three already.
Young, middle-aged, elderly?
60s.
In their 60s?
Yeah.
You think that person should emerge?
I believe so. If we could.
Kò lè work. Ẹ wá bá mi máa fi sílẹ̀ sínú comment section. Bóyá nǹkan táwọn ń sọ o, bóyá òun ló lè work ni o. Bóyá nǹkan tí bàbá Akintoye sọ o, bóyá òun ló lè work ni o.
And it's fair enough to be able to judge President Bola Tinubu based on what he said he was going to do. It was a promise. And he said it, that, look, I was the one who asked for the job. I'm the one who made the promises. Don't pity me. I'm the one who got myself into all of this. Well, then, after the first 2 years in office, as I feared, it's only you Nigerians that can be the judge. You have the marking scheme. The president has given you the marking scheme. How are you marking and rating him? One of those who said they could do better than him in the 2023 election is Omoyele Sowore, AAC presidential candidate in that election. Is live for us here now. So thanks so much, Mr. Sowore, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. Good
evening. Are you excited now that President Bola Tinubu is on the way to delivering those promises he said he promised Nigerians in 2023?
Excited? Oh, I'm very sad that we're in 2 years into the regime, that we're in this situation, we're in a conundrum. And as you introduced your position about the government, I also was watching when the chief, I think it was the chief of defense staff or chief of army staff, who had just told Nigerians that they're helpless. Is asking the people at this point to please help them defeat Boko Haram. They can't understand why Boko Haram is strong and he needs the community to help. That should not be coming from the army. That should be coming from vigilantes. So security is number one. The economy is number two. They said they're going to remove, they said they removed fuel subsidy. The next day, we're supposed to see Eldorado. People are poorer than they've ever been. We are being compared with Sudan in terms of the likelihood of a place where a child won't live up to 5 years after they're born. We have become a nation that has pushed people not into poverty this time around, into multidimensional poverty. In 1970, there are less than 7 million Nigerians in multidimensional poverty. In 2025, there are over 170 million Nigerians in multidimensional poverty. The minimum wage in 1975 is better than that of 2025. So tell me, in which area did they promise they will help this country that they have assisted the country? So they declare that there's going to be renewed hope, but everywhere is hopeless. It's renewed hopelessness. And we're not just saying this. We are speaking as people who are Nigerians who observe this, who know this, and who can tell you categorically that the Nigerian people are worse than they were a few months ago. I'm not even going to talk about
Are you saying this as a bitter person who lost the election? I mean, because
I've said this several times on your show that we shouldn't be discussing election because we never had an election in
because
the
you are
first
still an opposition voice. Yeah. You ran the election. The fact that you ran in that election,
I ran in
and it's almost
election,
impossible for you to be able to agree
election
with the person you said you could do better than.
No, if they are doing better, even if I disagree with them, the rest of the country will be on their side. But they are not doing well. They are not doing anything, as a matter of fact. They're just huffing and puffing.
There is nothing in the last 2 years that is good in this
Well, you go out of here and go tell the Nigerian people that there's something that's happened in the last.
I mean, there are a few things that
like
people could applaud. The loans being given to students.
Loan given to students. Did the man not just come here now and say 250 billion naira was stolen between 2021 and 2022 from the public? This was found by the Accountant General, and he broke it down. People were overpaid, monies that were not returned, contractors that were overpaid.
I'm talking about the loan
250 billion
naira. You were a former student union leader.
I went to the University of Lagos, paying 90 naira for accommodation and 45 naira school fees. How can you ask me to applaud somebody who is giving loan for people to go to school? I went to school in the US. I paid loans. It was the worst decision I ever took, to take loans to go to school. People are getting depressed, committing suicide in the US because they took student loans. The Biden administration wanted to pay back all the loans, but the Supreme Court, of course, their court system didn't allow it. I'm just using that to tell you that it's an antiquated idea that you ask people who are not going to find jobs when they leave the university to take loans to go to school. But you are subsidizing people who do nothing in the country with huge amount of money. I just mentioned to you 250 billion naira. How much was the amount of money that was allocated to student loans? Was that up to 250 billion?
But that was in the Buhari.
We're talking about Buhari. By the time the Accountant General is done with this one, with this government, you probably will find that there's 3 times more money has been stolen in the last 2 years.
You don't agree in the manner in which the subsidy was removed, but do you agree with the unification of the exchange window?
I was on the show with you here, and I told you that I won't float in the naira, because the naira is not something that you toy with. It's national currency. You cannot subjugate the naira to the whims and caprices of market and speculators. That's what they are doing to the naira. That's why. How is it that the Nigerian naira, has less value than the currency of the guys in Cotonou and Ghana? What did they do differently? It is economic policy.
What would you have done differently?
We've discussed that several times. That first and foremost is to have a monetary policy that is about strengthening the economy. It's about people who are competent. Our monetary policy is about buying and selling of forex. That's what it is. And I was on a show a few days ago here when I talked about inflation, where the MPC meets every time and they come and increase what they call the interest rates. And I said, it's a 1980 idea by Paul Volcker and Jimmy Carter. And when Jimmy Carter did that, he lost the election. His tenure was not renewed. And you are repeating that in 2025 in Nigeria, because you must understand the reason why there's inflation, right? There are several reasons why you have inflation, and one of it is not what they are doing there. You cannot borrow money to people at 27% interest rate. There are some banks that are doing 33% interest rate. If you look at the banks across board, some of them are doing as high as 35% interest. How do you borrow money at 35% interest rate in any country and make profit and the economy will grow? No, because what is driving up inflation is not what they think it's, or what they should know is not driving. What is driving up inflation is that the moment they bring the allocation on a monthly basis, they're going to change it to dollar. Nobody is productive here. They are buying and selling forex. Governors, everybody is doing it. That is the problem. And you then have a central bank that is doing retail banking instead of central banking. and you want that set of those set of people
Mr.
to
Sowore,
fix your monetary policy,
you have
your
your
time.
own manner in which, and you don't agree with this government in the manner in which they're going about it.
Yes.
Some institutions, global institutions have said, look, these are audacious moves being made by this government. And this government have come forward to say, look, whatever we are doing, for example, we have immediate and temporal pains, but we shall be seeing the benefit in a longer term. I mean, don't you believe, you know me, Mr. Bola Tinubu very, very well.
I don't know him well enough to know that he's competent. I know him as a politician who knows his way around manipulating people. That's what I know about him. I don't know him as a
assessment of
It is.
Of the
That's
president.
why Nigeria is in the situation that it is today. It's the guy who came 2 years ago and said he built Lagos, and then he came and ruined Nigeria because they never built Lagos in the first place. They were manipulating everybody in Lagos and collecting taxes and taking care of these taxes themselves. So the truth is that I never know him to be a competent person. That was why we're warning Nigerians 2 years ago that do not make the mistake of allowing these people come to power. I won't say vote for them because nobody voted for them.
So in this case, you do not in any way have a trust, because I'm imagining when in the renewed Hope agenda, they said we're making very, very strong and audacious.
No,
and
I wanted to actually intervene when you said, some international organizations are, saying that they are making audacious moves. One of the one they paraded was Moody's. Moody's is people who rate bonds. Nigeria is not a company that is selling bonds. Of course, we have bonds. We buy Euro bonds, and the reason
has gone to the.
No, I know. I want to explain to you. I know to explain
fully
to you.
subscribed. In fact,
No,
oversubscribed.
no, there's nobody who will not subscribe to a bonds where you get short-term investment and you have the highest rate of return. That's what the Nigerian bond system is. It's because it's not the kind of bonds that are well respected. So they have the highest return on investment within the shortest period of time. Who will not buy that kind of bond, especially when it's collateralized with our oil money? That's why we're getting over. It's not because our economy is doing well. It's because anybody can come in, make money, or even rig our bond system, your stocks here, and then you work out after a few months. So you don't think Nigerians
should be hopeful about this
government? You become
government?
a billionaire just subscribing to the Nigerian bond. Because it is the kind of bonds that gives money to investors who don't care about you.
So you don't think Nigerians should be hopeful about this government and its policies?
No, I shouldn't. I don't think so. And I've warned Nigerians, and I'll keep saying it, the more you hope, the more you lose regarding this government.
Karma, the law of retribution, the law of you reap what you sow, is resident in Nigeria. The system of karma does not respect status. It might grind slowly, but it will eventually catch up with you now or later. The Nigerian police force has been trying to reform itself over the years, and it has produced very fine officers like Frank Mba, Bright Edafe, and there was one Shell policeman, Inspector Okonkwo, and very recently we have one is it ASP or Inspector I don't know his rank, Shaba, in Ekpa police station. It's a crime buster, and we are grateful that some men in uniform in the police force have patriotic zeal to do what is right. But there are a few bad eggs that the police force has been flushing a lot of them out. But there are a few ones who seem to be untouchable. And in that case, karma affects them. I remember 25 years back when I first came to Ugili to reside. I don't know, I just parked my vehicle near the mobile fuel station. And somebody just drove there and harassed me. Before I knew it, he pointed a revolver or a pistol on my head. So I'll shoot you now. I later investigated. He was one notorious police officer then in Ughelli. He was later transferred to Warri. He continued his brutality and stupidity. Eventually, he was killed, buried under a bridge when he went, the Tokutu Bridge, when he went for something no person can explain. That was a very tragic end. You remember Inspector Iyamu in Benin City during the Anini era? He ended up very badly. You remember Balogun, the one that was dragged into a vehicle many years ago, ended very badly. You remember one, I think his name was, I don't want to call his name, in Anambra State during Ngige and one person's era, who was utilized to disrupt the elections, the government. He got home and collapsed and died. The very recent ones are two cases. One of CSP Ekene, Ekene Wonsu. He passed away in Ekiti State and people were jubilating. A lawyer, a journalist, and several other people talked about the atrocities he committed in Akwa Ibom State. And he took the same atrocities to Ekiti State. And he died mysteriously. He was said to have been jubilating when a commissioner in Akwa Ibom State that was against what he was doing died. But only within a space of time, he also passed away with very, very bad reports about him. And some of these police officers who are very powerful because of their nuisance value for politicians remain untouchable. Even when they commit crimes, sometimes when judgment is passed against them, they are still retained in the police force because of what they do for those who are in authority. One of the journalists said that he spent millions flying to Abuja to lay complaints concerning Ekene Wonsu, why he should be deployed from Akwa Ibom State. Several people came up with, he locked up a journalist, stripped him naked for days, and he will humiliate lawyers. He has ended up very badly. So many court cases against him by human rights lawyers. One of the human rights lawyers, I can't remember his name now, was celebrating openly. When wicked men perish, people rejoice. There's the case of one man, anti-robbery squad in Okusu or whatever, who was very notorious. We don't know how he ended. Now, there was a divisional police officer. There's a video circulating said to be him being attacked by Irish youths in Rano, in Kano State, Rano local government area, a divisional police officer. He was said to have brutalized 3 people in Bauchi State when he was there. And 2 of them lost their lives, and 1 of them had fractures, and a court case was won against him, the police, and a fine was placed to pay compensation. Instead of dismissing him from the police force, he was transferred to Kano, and somebody died in his custody again. The police PRO from Kano has come to give his own explanation about somebody who was driving a bike under the influence of substances and that he subsequently fell ill and died in a hospital, and youths mobilized to come and attack the police station. There are some questions we need to ask. Starting from Ekene Wosu, who was said to be obtaining false criminal court orders while people are in detention to sell their vehicles and collect the money. Those judges, those magistrates that collaborated with him to pass such judgments, issue such orders, the Nigerian Judicial Council should open up cases against them because they are accessories to that criminality, to the injustice. Accessories to that injustice. Now, let's go back to the DPO in Rano. How come people, young men, were able to mobilize, set a divisional police station on a police station on fire, where a DPO is supposed to be a big police station, set it on fire, and then they said the injuries, according to the PRO, the police PRO, the injuries he sustained. How did they manage to grab a divisional police officer? If the video in circulation where people were using sticks and stones to flog a man until he was deleted relates to that divisional police officer, it shows the level of insecurity in this country and the level of vulnerability of all of us as citizens. If a divisional police officer can be injured by youths in Rano, then any person is vulnerable. If that video is true, that alleged video is true, it's a big disgrace on our country. It's a shame. But there are key issues that come up. Number one, his rank could not protect him. Chief Superintendent of Police, his uniform could not protect him. His colleagues could not protect him. His money could not protect him. The next thing was that his colleagues, where were the other police officers? Where were the other police officers? A policeman was telling me that when you see a police officer with a tear gas launcher that is not a bullet shooting gun, know that there are not enough rifles in the police division there. And you see some of the rifles are old. They are sellotaped with... if a police division headquarters can be invaded by youths and the divisional police officer taken and injured and die of his injuries, shows how vulnerable we are, how disorganized we are. And there was something else that I also noticed. Those who were hitting him were Muslims. Those who were hitting him were Northerners. Those who were hitting him were Arewa people. Evil in Nigeria does not know religion, does not know tribe, does not know region. Evil is evil. And when they come for you, when Nigeria happens to you, your region will not save you, your tribe will not save you, your religion will not save you. It is time that things are done properly in this country. If somebody is arrested, traumatizing that person, brutalizing that person to extort confession from that person, ideally, any confessions or statements made under duress are not supposed to be admissible evidence in court because the person spoke or wrote against his or her will. Karma lives in this country. It's not an Indian. Slowly catches up with people. And in the next few years, there's going to be a dramatic manifestation of the effect of the law of retribution and the law of karma. Between now and 2027, mark my statement. I'm not a prophet. These are simple predictive projections. Dramatic things are going to happen. We seem to be enjoying this macabre dance of impunity, corruption, insanity, all kinds of nonsense going on in this country. We have not left this country because we have hope. God dey na poor man juju, and he dey walk. And be poor man talisman, he dey walk. God dey.
bóyá nǹkan tí Chief Sunday Igboho sọ o bóyá òun ló lè wọ́ọ̀kì ni o nínú nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí o ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ torí Ọlọ́run ẹ má ṣe láì bá mi fílẹ̀ nínú comment section gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe máa ń sọ wípé a máa débẹ̀ ìgbà wo ni mi ò mọ̀ àkókò wo ni mi ò mọ̀ bọ̀ kí ni mo mọ̀ wípé a máa débẹ̀ ó ń ṣe wọn olókù bẹ́ẹ̀ ni a ní sí pẹ̀lú òkú ẹ̀ bọ̀ ìgbà wo ni èmi ò mọ̀ hàn fi hàn mí àkókò wo ni mi ò mọ̀ bọ̀ mo mọ̀ wípé a máa bọ̀ now mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ipa kó bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí mo kẹ́yìn ya mo kẹ́yìn bàbá mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mo kí àbúrò ojú wo lẹ fi wò báwo lẹ ṣe rí sí ojú wo lẹ fi wò báwo lẹ̀yin ṣe rí sí ẹ bá wa fílẹ̀ nínú comment section bíbá ìlànà mi tó wà sópin sí lọ́jọ́ títí òní mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ìpè lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ojú òní tiwa àníró ń gbé sọnù bí ò ṣe àníró ń gbé sọnù bí ò ṣe bí ọmọ àníró ń gbé sọnù bí ò ṣe bí ọmọ Yorùbá mi ti sùn gan o mo máa gbé wá fún yín èmi náà débẹ̀ ẹ mọ̀ kí má sọ òyìnbó níbi ó pọ̀ gan ni èmi náà ti lọ sí má sọ òyìnbó kan o mo máa gbé wá tẹ máa rí wípé Ìjẹ̀bú fọ́ kéèkì mi máa kíra mi wọ́n pọ̀ lọ sóńbẹ́nu orókè kò jábọ́lẹ̀ ìgbàgà ìkéèkì mi máa kíra mi ẹ má wọ̀rí máa gbé wá wẹ́ ẹ má fojú rí interview mi kí n gbá Yorùbá yẹn wá kàn ń gbére òwe àwọn orúkọ máa gbé wá fún yín kàn ń tíkì rẹ wá wọ́n máa ti ń jẹ owó lọ wọ́n máa ti ń jẹ owó lọ mo sọ fún yín pé mo gbọ́ Yorùbá mo kàn máa ń pretend ni mo kàn já yín sí ni mo máa gbé interview yẹn wá bọ̀ ẹ máa gbogbo yín lẹ máa rí ẹ máa fojú sọ́nà fún ìkéde tẹ́ ẹ pòlú tẹ́ ẹ ní sanwó fún rárá nìbọ̀ ẹ máa fojú sọ́nà wọn kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá wa share ètò ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá wa fi comment sílẹ̀ ara nǹkan tẹ́ lè fi support wa ní ara nǹkan tẹ́ lè fi ràn wá lọ́wọ́ náà ní ẹ̀rọ ojú òní tiwa èmi rẹ máa rí ẹ̀yin náà ni máa bá lágbára lọ́wọ́ Elédùmarè. God bless you, one love, bye for now. Ire o, ire gbangba, ire.
Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.